There's a lot going on in the cloud gaming space, and I do plan on covering it all, but there are two particular headlines I want to talk about in today's video. The first of which is Stadia and Madden 23, and the second will be God of War and GeForce NOW. I wish I could tell you it's good news, but it's really not. So let's dive right into it. We're going to begin talking about Stadia and Madden 23. As some of you may have heard, Madden 23 has officially been announced and revealed, and alongside it was the announcement of the platforms. Now, I'm sure some of you already know where this is going, but Google Stadia was notably absent. To be perfectly fair, this wouldn't be the first time this sort of thing happens. Sometimes Google decides to announce games way down the road for some weird reason. Honestly, I've never really liked it, but it does happen. And the fact that the hyperlink still displayed Stadia within the preview window kind of led some people to believe that there was still a chance, myself included. But today we got official confirmation from Electronic Arts themselves via 9to5Google, in which they stated that Madden 23 is not in development for Google Stadia. And make no mistake about it, that's really rough. Frankly speaking, Madden, much like FIFA, much like NBA 2K, is one of those annual franchises that means a lot to any platform. And look, I say that as somebody who doesn't even play these sports games very much. I cover them on the channel because I know they get views and because people do care about the franchise themselves. And the truth is, outside of the channel statistics, the loss of Madden on Stadia doesn't really affect me personally. It's not a title that I look forward to playing each and every year. But I can't ignore the fact that Madden NFL 22, according to Statista.com, was the third best-selling game in the United States for last year. That puts it above the likes of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining and Pearl, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Resident Evil 8 Village. And it's that kind of stat that really makes you realize that the games you prefer actually aren't as big as the ones that come out every single year. They release annually for a reason, right? But regardless, this doesn't bode well for Stadia. Like it or not, this is one of those games that I really thought Google would have actually splurged out some cash to secure, much like FIFA 23. But this now leads credence to the thought that possibly it might not show up either. FIFA is undoubtedly bigger than Madden, but if EA didn't see the value in bringing Madden over, something tells me that without monetary supplement, they're probably not going to be willing to bring FIFA either. And I can guarantee you both of those titles are so important that some players will absolutely go pick up a console just to play the newest entries. And that really would be the only choice for those wanting to play those games day one, because they're not available anywhere else day one on the cloud. But now let's switch to GeForce NOW and talk about the removal of God of War from the service. If you haven't heard the news, beginning July 1st, God of War will no longer be available on GeForce NOW for new users to play. This is because the publisher, Sony in this case, has decided to opt out of the GFN service. The only good news here is that anyone who's played God of War before that July 1st deadline will continue to have access to the game via GFN. So to break it down into simpler terms, if you're a newcomer past July 1st, God of War will no longer be available for you to play on GFN, but if you've played it before that deadline, you will continue to be able to play it from here on out. It's also been confirmed that if the game does receive a patch past the July 1st deadline, it will continue to be updated for anyone who retained access to the game via GFN. While this certainly sucks, I will say props to Nvidia for at least securing a way to keep the game accessible for anyone who bought the game just to play it on GeForce NOW, and also good on them for giving a 1-month advance notice. This allows anyone who planned on picking up the game to do so within that time frame before it disappears for good from the cloud via GFN. But as per usual, I like to keep it real here. This sucks. GeForce NOW had a huge boom from God of War being available. People were talking about it everywhere, a lot of sites picked it up, and the GeForce NOW community was extremely excited to hear that Sony had opted into GeForce NOW. Even I myself was entirely shocked when I heard the news. I couldn't believe it. Never in a million years did I think Sony would allow their games on GeForce NOW, especially when they have PlayStation Now. As soon as that happened, everybody opened the floodgates in terms of speculation of what other PlayStation games could arrive to the service, but those floodgates now need to be closed. I guess it was too good to be true, and I gotta say that sucks because PlayStation's catalog is absolutely fantastic. Their PC ports are now really damn good too. And just yesterday they confirmed that Spider-Man was on its way to PC too, a game I would have absolutely adored to play on a 3080 tier. But at the end of the day, Sony decided to opt out, and while I doubt we'll ever get a clear reason as to why, if I had to speculate, it's because they plan on pushing their own cloud gaming service, especially with the revamp of the PlayStation Plus tier. years. I think it's important that people remember that GeForce Now works on an opt-in basis. While it hasn't happened in a long time, God of War is a very good reminder that games can absolutely come and go here. And in an industry where there seems to be a lot of consolidation going on, that's something to keep in mind. Like I said, I do respect how Nvidia handled the exit of God of War. Making sure that players get to retain access if they already purchased it is a really big step in the right direction. But that's an exception and not the standard, so don't go expecting any other game to opt out to offer the same level of retention. To read the quote directly from Nvidia, it states the following: "As part of the GeForce Now opt-in process, some games may continue to be available to members on a legacy basis. This will allow members who have started playing a game at least once on GeForce Now to continue playing it, even after the game has been removed for users who have not played it." The two important words here are some games. And while Sony did decide to opt out, that's not to say that they can't decide to opt back in. Would it happen? I doubt it. But who knows, I never really expected God of War to ever show up in the first place. Their PC ports are great, and I really do hope they reconsider allowing people to enjoy them via GeForce Now, especially with the 3080 tier, so they can enjoy them at their absolute best. When all is said and done, I wanted to particularly talk about these two headlines because I do think they're very important for cloud gamers to hear. It really is a reminder that we are in the infancy stage of cloud gaming. Things are still being sorted out, and these newcomers definitely have some obstacles to cross over. As I've stated many times before, I don't think there is an absolute clear winner when it comes to the best cloud gaming solution out there. I would argue that both GeForce Now and Google Stadia are my favorite of the bunch, and even those I have a hard time recommending to a lot of people out there. And even if you're somebody who's really interested in cloud gaming, there are serious benefits and downfalls to both as well. One may suit you more than the other, and I think it's really silly to compare the two at this point in time. I'd argue both are aimed at extremely different audiences right now. Stadia is trying to be another PlayStation, another Xbox. GeForce Now is really trying to give you the PC experience without the upfront cost. You could certainly argue the aspects on which is better in terms of resolution and latency, but at the end of the day, the games you care for and the expectations you set for whatever you're playing on are what matter most. And with both of these headlines, it's time for some users to certainly readjust their expectations on what they're getting out of both. Either way, that covers all the cloud gaming news of the day. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video message is just going to simply let you know that I will be catching up on all the cloud gaming news, especially with Summer Games Fest around the corner, the latest state of play from Sony happening just yesterday. There's been a ton of stuff to talk about, but these two headlines are ones that I really needed to share out there and I wanted to discuss further in depth. If you enjoyed this style of news, let me know down below and maybe I'll try it out more with particular topics I'm passionate about. Regardless, thanks for watching, I hope you have a great day, and as always, this has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.